Today we are fixing celebrities' bad makeup. I've done some bad makeup. In no way is this video going to be bashing women at all. I'm using these celebrities as an example of what to do and what not to do for various eye shapes, skin colors, face shapes, all of that. At the end of this video, you are going to feel like an expert makeup artist. Let's start first with Anya Taylor-Joy. I love her in Queen's Gambit, you all. If you have not watched that, I know it's been out a few years on Netflix, but it was so good. And that's where she kind of debuted and made her big break into acting. But I want to show you her features. So I'm going to put up this picture here. This was an event that she was at, and she's a stunning woman. I love her features so much, but I would fix some things based on her eye shape. So look at her eyes. She has wide set eyes, and I'll put a graphic here so you guys can see. I teach this in the Makeup Geek Academy for anyone who ever wants to do makeup classes. I will link to it there. But wide set eyes is where you have a lot of space in between your eyes. And if you don't bring your brows in and your shadow shading in a little bit, it can make your face seem a little bit out of balance. So what I would do for her with her wide set eyes is I would bring some shadow in. I would almost take, here, I'll show you all. So we take a dome brush like this, and almost like a bronzer color, the same color I would put under the cheeks, I would bring it in here like this, put some darkness in here. That darkness is going to bring the eyes together, making them not look so wide apart. The other thing I would do for wide set eyes is to take a liner. I like using a brow ink because it's very fine, and I would come all the way in with that liner in here and bringing that eyeliner in almost to that foxy liner shape. I don't know if they still call it anymore. You guys remember that trend from a couple years ago? Everyone was like, oh, foxy liner. The liner comes all the way in. That helps also to bring those eyes closer together. So if you have wide set eyes, try putting darkness in here in the inner corner a little bit, bring that liner all the way in and see how it transforms your eye shape. Now, the next thing I noticed from her picture is she has very, very fair skin. I would say it's almost porcelain skin. She has a strong contour. Her face shape, you all, she has very defined features. So she has a very slender face. She has very prominent cheekbones. With someone with prominent cheekbones like that, you don't actually need to contour it. I noticed her makeup artist did a strong contour. Do you see how it's kind of hollowed out underneath? Maybe that's the look that she was going for, but in general, if you have strong cheekbones and a very slender face, I wouldn't contour at all under there because it's going to make it look gaunt and hollow versus chiseled and natural, if that makes sense. What I would also do for her is I would focus on blush instead. So in this picture, it feels like her skin doesn't have much color, so adding a nice soft peach blush or even a pink blush to the cheeks is going to liven up her skin. It's going to look great on camera when she has these pictures done. Just adding that nice great pop of blush instead of contour, I think would fit her features a bit better. And then lastly, if you look at her face shape, she has not quite a heart face shape. It's almost like a blend between a heart and an oval face shape. I'll put those diagrams here for you all as well. Her temple is wider than her jaw. And when you have a wider temple, what you want to do is take some bronzer and you want to, or contour powder, and you're going to put it here on the sides of the temple. That's going to narrow the temple out to make it more in line with the jawline. Our goal with makeup is to make everything symmetrical. So if her temple is the same width as her jawline, that's going to look more symmetrical. So that's what I would have done on her here, is just added some of that contour color they did under her cheekbones instead on the sides of her temple just to narrow it a little bit more. Next celebrity we have is Selena Gomez. Oh, the Selena fans are going to come after me on this one. You all, she is such a stunning woman. I love her brand Rare Beauty. I have nothing negative to say about her. I'm just using her as an example, you all. So don't come torch my house, okay? All right, so in this picture I have here, she was at some sort of event. She looks stunning, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. But there are some few tweaks that I would do if I was her makeup artist. So first off, whenever you have pictures done, you all, I always like to go a little bit brighter with the blush and the lip color. If you, in person, I can imagine she looks absolutely stunning. But when you have pictures done, it washes out 20 to 30% of your color. So I'd love to see her with a little bit brighter of a blush just to kind of liven up the face a bit. Because Selena is wearing a white dress, it's a neutral. She has tan skin, brown eyes, brown hairs. Everything on her is neutral. So whenever you have someone that has dark features, dark hair, and they're wearing a neutral outfit, that's a lot of neutral. So adding a pop of color can look very striking. So either the brighter cheeks, or I would have done a red lip on her or a deeper pink lip just for that pop of color. I'm going to put it here on the screen. Like, look how gorgeous she looks with this lip color, right? She looks stunning. There's something just magical about someone who has dark hair, dark eyes, light to medium skin with that bold lip. It just really pops, especially in that red color. So that's what I would have done for this outfit, just to stand out a little bit in pictures specifically. Now let's look at her face shape. So Selena has a round face shape. So round face shapes are going to be the same height as width. So that's what tells a round face shape is it's a little bit shorter than an oval face shape. With round face shapes, you want to highlight with a lighter concealer in the center of the face. And I'll show you the placement of this. So if you take a concealer that's a shade or two lighter than your skin and you put it here, kind of in a triangle shape, which I know everyone's like, that's outdated. I don't care. Shading is shading, light is light. We're still talking about standard artistic techniques. So you would do lighter in here, the center of the face, down the nose, and the center of the chin. Kind of that center face. It's going to elongate the face because you have lightness in here, making the rounder face appear taller than what it is. So I would definitely have played a little bit more with shade and light on her. And the same thing goes with her bronzer and contour. With round face shapes, you want to angle it like this. If I start coming across with bronzer or blush, it's going to cut my face in half and make it look even wider because I'm making it look shorter. So we want everything to be very elongated. So the bronzer technique I would do for her would be coming down like this at almost a 45-degree angle. And the same thing with her blush. I'd put it up like this and bring it up higher. That's going to give the illusion of lifting and making the face look taller. And then lastly, for her eye shape, Selena has slightly close set eyes. And that's the opposite of the last one, Anya, that we saw. She has wide set, Selena has close set, which means she doesn't have a lot of space in between her eyes. So in this picture here, I do see a little bit of that brightness in here, but what I would have done is maybe applied a little bit of a bright shimmer in the inner tear duct just to make it look brighter and wider. And also I would extend the eyeliner out a little bit. So if you have close set eyes, doing a winged liner where it comes out a bit is going to make the outer part of the eye seem wider. So it's going to draw the attention away from the center part, which is close together. Anything you can do to elongate the eyes works great for close set eyes. Next actress we have is Halle Bailey. She is so stunning, you all. So every time I see her, I'm like, oh, she's so pretty. Okay, so in this picture here, I really wanted to use her as an example because I am dying to do her makeup. If anyone knows how to get as her makeup artist, I would love to be able to do a little refresher because she also has wide set eyes, just like Anya. So she has beautiful almond shaped eyes. They're a little bit smaller and they're almond shaped, but they are wide set. Do you see how much space she has between her eyes? For her, the same techniques that we did for Anya would work well, where you bring in a little bit of darkness here on the inner corner of the eye. That's going to bring the eyes together. But the biggest difference, and I'm dying to tell her makeup artist to do, is bring her brows in further. Her brows are very far apart, so it leaves all this open space right here on her forehead, draws attention to her forehead versus her eyes. Her eyes are so gorgeous, you all. If they were framed a little bit more with those brows coming in, we would instantly, when we look at her, be like, eyes. That's what I see. And I'm dying to do that for her because she has such beautiful almond eyes. So bring the brows in closer. If you have wide set eyes, I'm telling you that will frame your eyes so much more, just bringing them in. And then the same thing with her, the Foxy liner, if she would bring that eyeliner in a little bit further into the inner tear duct, that's also going to give the illusion that her eyes are closer together. And then lastly for her, as you notice, she doesn't have any shadow under the lower lash line, which it doesn't look bad. If her artist were to smudge just a little bit of shadow underneath, just taking a little brush like this, smudging it under here, that's actually going to make the eyes look bigger because even though she has these gorgeous almond shaped eyes, they're a little bit smaller. So smudging a bit under here is going to give the illusion that her eyes are taller and a little bit larger than what they are. And I would do like a really pretty purple color, would be absolutely stunning with the color that she has on her lid. Next celebrity we have is Emma Chamberlain. It's like I've been following her for so long. I think she started on YouTube when I did many years ago. She's been on there for a long time. Obviously, she's a full-blown celebrity now. I love using her as an example because she has downturned eyes, and I want to show you all, if anyone has downturned eyes out there, I want to show you techniques for that. So her makeup here actually looks really pretty. I'm not saying it doesn't look amazing, but I would love to see her artist change the technique to fit specifically for her eye shape, because this is a gorgeous eye makeup. I would just emphasize turning up the eyes a little bit more. So the first thing I would do for her look is to soften the lower lash line. I would either get rid of altogether that lower lash line color, or I would soften it quite a bit, because when you have downturned eyes, the outer corner of your eye, and I'll put the eye shape up here so you all can see. With downturned eyes, do you see how the outer corner is lower than the inner corner? So that can make them look a bit heavy. So putting anything under the lower lash line, especially a really dark color, is going to make that look heavy, when the eye shape naturally already turns down already. So for downturn eyes, I don't like smudging shadow underneath. Next, what I do is take shadow and smudge it on the upper lash line instead and leave that darkness there, and then do almost like a cat eye shape. So it's kind of a V shape with shadow kind of smoked out. That is going to give the illusion that the outer corner of the eye is lifted because we have that darkness here angled up. It's going to lift that outer corner. Then to top it off, she could add a dramatic wing. I think Emma's iconic makeup look should be almost like Ariana Grande's old look where she had the strong winged liner and a nice bold lip. If the Emma would wear that makeup look, it would be so stunning on her and fit her features so well. So I'd love to see her in a dramatic kind of winged eyeliner to help balance out her downturn eye shape. Next for her, the blush placement. So it looks like the artist did pretty good job. Put the blush about right here if you all can see. With downturn eyes, you have to look at the whole face as well. You want to apply blush a little bit higher up here. Anything that's higher up is going to lift the face. So for the top half of her face, from here on up, everything needs to be lifted to help lift those eyes. The blush is going to complement that. So blush, I'd like to see her have a little bit more blush, but have it pulled up higher up here so it lifts up that outer part of the face. And then lastly, I don't know if she would be up for if she'd let her artist. I would love to see them pluck the outer hairs of her brow. She has these beautiful thick brows, but because they're so thick on the outer half of the brow, it's contributing to the outer eye looking heavy as well. So look what happens here, you all, when you pluck the outer brow hairs. It completely transformed her face, right? Brows are everything, you guys. If you want your eyes to be lifted, that outer half of the brow, make it higher, make it just a little bit thinner than the inner half, and that is automatically going to lift those eyes a bit more, and I'd love to see that on Emma. Next celebrity we had is Quinta Brunson, and she's so stunning, you all. She has the most gorgeous eyes, great cheekbones, her skin is always glowing. I love her so much. So in her picture here, she looks absolutely stunning, but I want to point out her eye shape as well, because a lot of you watching may have the same eye shape. So she has protruding eyes. Now, protruding eyes is when your eyelids, if I look sideways, you all, your eyelids are out further than your brow bone. So it's like your eyeball is kind of out of the socket a little bit. I know that's a horrible explanation, you guys. I don't know how to say it, but this part of the eye comes out further than the brow bone. That's protruding. With that eye shape, the best technique, you all, is to do a dark smoky eye. So she has these beautiful purples. If I wanted to balance out her eyes a bit, that darker purple color I would have put all over the lid. And it could be a shimmery purple, it could be a matte purple, it doesn't matter. It just needs to be darker all over the lid. That's going to help push the protruding eyes back a little bit so it's in balance with the brow bone. And then also smoking out that lower lash line can be really pretty on her in that same purple color. I would smoke it out along that lash line. She can pull off a pretty dramatic eye because she has large eyes and they're protruding, so she can do a ton of different makeup looks, but a dark smoky eye would be stunning on her. Next thing I would do for her eye shape is I would do a winged liner, and not as dramatic of a one I would do an Emma, but just something coming out to the side. So when you have protruding eyes, they can look pretty round. They can be very tall and protruding out. So to elongate them a little bit, I would do a winged liner that comes out to the side, so it's going to give the illusion of length, and also placing some lashes just on the outer part. So I like her lashes that she has here, but I would have had her artist put a couple trio lashes right here on the outer lashes to put most of those lashes out here, so it really just elongates the eyes. And then lastly for this look here, because she has a nude lip, she has that nice rich caramel skin and dark hair, dark eyes, I'd love to see just a little bit brighter of a blush, like a nice coral color. A raisin plum would be really pretty on her. Just something to brighten up the cheeks a little bit, because again, with pictures, it washes out 30% of the color. So the number one thing I see artists do is not apply enough blush. This is the one instance, you all, that we can overdo it on blush, is when you are at an event and you're having pictures taken, especially at night. Next celebrity we have is Ariana Grande, and I chose a recent picture of her because she looks very different now than she did years ago, and that's not me bashing her at all. When I look at her, you all, she did lose a lot of weight, and that's what really chiseled out her face. I think a lot of people are like, oh, she had a lot of work done. I think she didn't have a ton of work done, but what changed her the most was she lost a lot of weight, so it really slimmed out her face, but also her hair, because she went blonde and her brows are super washed out. It makes you completely different, you all. It's almost like if if you erase your brows, you don't even look like the same person anymore. Brows are everything. They really frame the face. And with her here having such light brows, it washes her out and it makes her not look like the Ariana we once knew with the very dark hair and dark brows, dark eyes, the features that she had before. So first thing I would do for her is darken her brows. Even if she has blonde hair, you want to go a couple shades darker with your brows when you have blonde hair, so it really frames the face and kind of grounds the eyes, if that makes sense. And also with her, because her brows are pretty far apart, I would bring them in a little bit more as well. Now, because her face is so slim, I would do a pop of blush, you all, but the technique I would do for her, because she has such a chiseled jawline, chiseled cheekbones, everything's very chiseled on her. To soften her features, I would take a nice warm peach blush, something in the warm tones, because it looks like she has warm undertone here. I would apply it to the apples of the cheek. So have her smile, put a lot of that blush right here on the apples of that cheek. So that's going to give the appearance of a rounder cheek, which is going to soften her features more to balance out that very angular jawline that she has. Next thing for her too, because her eyes look a bit large in this picture and she can pull this off, same thing for her as I would do with a couple other celebrities, a smudge shadow under the lower lash line. It's really going to define the eyes. It's going to make those lashes underneath look a little bit thicker, so her eyeliner on top isn't so heavy. She needs balance. She has such a thick liner on top, but nothing on the bottom to kind of balance it. And then also I would go back to her traditional winged liner. I think because her eyes are a bit larger and a bit more round, having that winged liner that comes out to the side is going to elongate them and balance out her eye shape. So what do y'all think? Did that help you with some of your features? Do you feel like a makeup expert now, analyzing people's face shapes, their eye shapes, their skin colors, their features, and all of that? It's so fascinating to me. So let me know if you guys like this video. I will do more if you like them. Just comment below if you like this video or not. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another makeup video.